Now, here's a trip down memory lane, for me at least. The year is 1979 and the picture is of me and my wife Jan holding our 2-week-old first baby Hannah. I think you can see the emotions expressed in our faces, emotions that no doubt many of you watching will have also felt at the birth of your first child. It's called love. Well, hello, my name is Trevor and welcome to Sheldon Road Church Supplement. I thought I'd start with this photo because love, it's such a common human emotion and it's a wonderful feeling, whether it's the love experienced by two people who are falling in love for the first time, or the love that parents instinctively feel when they are holding their newborn baby for the first time. And while I don't take any of this for granted, I do hope that you can remember times in your life when such love has been very real and very deep. In the case of a newborn, we feel love and we offer love because of the sheer vulnerability of the little bundle held in our arms. You know, I can still remember vividly how I could fit Hannah's body into my left arm. Her head would fit into the palm of my hand and her feet would just reach to my elbow joint. Although she was a healthy birth weight and she was so small, she looked so vulnerable. She needed all our love and all the care that we could give to survive and to thrive in this busy world. So I wonder what your experiences of love have been. Now, we've just celebrated Christmas, and I do hope you had a good one. I guess we all know the Christmas story so well that we tend to take it for granted. But as we reflect on the Christ child lying in the hay of a stable manger, does that bring back memories of vulnerable babies that we have held and loved? Does it make us wonder how Mary and Joseph must have felt? Probably both still teenagers and wondering how they would be able to cope and care for one so small and so vulnerable. The baby Jesus could do nothing for himself. He was relying totally on the love and support of his parents. And they gave it, of course. They gave it freely and willingly. It was a total act of grace. And that is what grace is. It's something given freely out of love which has not been earned. Indeed, something which cannot be earned at all. Now that got me thinking. A few years ago, the singer Stormzy released a great hit which was called Blinded by Your Grace. I wonder if you remember that. I'm afraid we can't show it here, there's copyright reasons for that, but you can find it easily enough on YouTube, or you can just use the QR code that is being displayed on the screen now. I loved the song from the first time I heard it, and especially the phrase, blinded by your grace. It is a haunting phrase that lingers in my mind. Have you ever been blown away by an act of love? Have you been blinded by an act of grace? This is Stormzy captured this in his rap poetry. He captured the great truth of our Christian faith, even the great truth of Christmas. You see, when I think about it, it is the most extraordinary thing. I look up into the night skies and I see millions of stars. Well, if you're in the right place, you can see them. Or with the help of the James Webb telescope, we can see millions of galaxies. And we can see that most incredible universe stretching out with this new technology, recording the very beginning of time itself. Or if we follow the work of the CERN Hadron Particle Collider in Switzerland, that has now been operating for 15 years, and they are discovering all the time more about the complexity and the makeup of the very matter which forms the building blocks of all creation and of all life forms. And I just marvel at creation. And I marvel at the Creator who has put all this in place. That is our God. I still can't get my head round it. That's Christmas, I mean. By some incomprehensible feat, this Creator, our God, came to share our lives. And he started this sharing in a cattle manger as a vulnerable baby born to an unpretentious teenage girl called Mary. It blows my mind away. What about you? We live in a world of ambition, or mostly there is, and there's a kind of expectation that as the years pass, our lives will become better. Generally speaking, we set out as young people, we leave our parental home, we find a job and find somewhere to live, maybe find a husband or a wife and start a family. And then we might hope that as the time progresses, that we will get into a better job, move into a better home. And then maybe, like me, hope to progress to a time when we can retire from all that and enjoy a more relaxed state of life. It's generally a journey upwards, isn't it? It's increased security, increased wealth, even increased status. That's our journeys. Now compare that with the journey of our Creator God. The journey now goes in the opposite direction. And the Apostle Paul wonderfully captures this in his letter to the Philippians. The Message translation of it in the Bible puts it like this. Jesus, he had equal status with God, but he didn't think so much of himself that he had to cling to the advantages of that status no matter what. Not at all. When the time came, he set aside the privileges of deity. He took on the status of a slave. He became human. And having become human, he stayed human. It was an incredibly humbling process that he didn't claim special privileges. Instead, he lived a selfless, obedient life and then died a selfless, obedient death. And the worst kind of death at that, a crucifixion. Or as Graham Kendrick, the songwriter, put it in one of his very well-known songs, The Servant Kings, hands that flung stars into space to cruel nails surrendered. That just blows me away. It's love. It's grace. And when I really try to think about it, I find I'm sort of blinded, blinded by God's grace. I wonder, how do you see it? Thanks for watching. Bye.